Journalist Glenn Greenwald says the controversy is being embraced by Democrats and media who do not want to weaken Facebook, but instead commandeer its power to censor. And CNN's Don Lemon is proving his point.
It allows lies to be spread unchecked. So if we say something on this network that is not true, there are repercussions and ramifications, right? We face the consequences. If you do that on social media, there are no consequences. What we post on social media, what is posted on social media should be true. So and if it's not true, it should be taken. Take it down. If it's not true, take it down. If it's not true, don't allow people to put it up there. Have them face consequences.
Journalist.
Okay, Greg, who decides what's true and what isn't true?
Yeah, that's idiotic.
This is
just I mean, it's amazing. Lemon on the 5, though. We just gave him the biggest audience in his career. He would have to do 70 shows in a row to get the number of eyeballs that just saw him. This is they're two, you know, the Republicans and the Democrats both have problems with Facebook. The Republicans look at Facebook as something that may be contributing to a moral decline, like alcohol and drugs, right? These are things that are bad for kids, and maybe we should create an age limit, like for cigarettes and alcohol. There's a certain age limit to get on social media, but not making it illegal. This is different. What he's talking about is eliminating discourse. He's going to be the decider on what's true and what's false. It's about controlling the narrative. It has nothing to do with a moral idea. It has nothing to do with truth. It has to do with politics and political power.
But, Dana, essentially, aren't they eliminating all opinion because they can say that your opinion is based upon a fact that is not accurate in their mind?
Well, remember that the people on the right have been frustrated with Facebook for a while because of claims of censorship and bias, okay? Right. But the left hates Facebook for a couple of reasons. One, Republicans are actually more successful on Facebook than they are in reaching audiences. If you look at the top 10 pages, you'll find people, you'll see Fox News there, Dan Bongino, you'll see Ben Shapiro and others. Okay, so the left hates Facebook. And for as much as the right hates Facebook, the left hates it so much more. They can't control it. Right. And it was very weird to watch last night how like the bat signal had gone out and everyone in the media had the exact same language, all about the whistleblower. Turns out though she's got some connections with the Democratic Party or you know, long-term Democrats that have like helped her out on this whole thing. I'm skeptical of the whole thing. I'm not saying that Facebook doesn't need to be regulated. Maybe they do. I'm just thinking that this whole thing to me seemed a little bit strange.
You know, in terms of, Jesse, in terms of Don Lemon saying there has to be consequences, I love when he said, if we at CNN do something on the network that's not true, we face consequences. I'm thinking Chris Cuomo, Jeffrey Toobin. Are there consequences at CNN?
I mean, they pushed the Russia hoax for how long? Were there consequences for that? No. And Dana's right. This smells like a setup to me. It reminds me of the Christine Blasey Ford, the Ukraine whistleblower phone call. All of a sudden, this woman, after photocopying a bunch of documents, and she was in charge of nuking the Hunter Biden laptop thing from Facebook, she gets represented by a Democrat guy. And the next thing you know, they call up CBS News, owned by Viacom, a lot of money in China. She gets that treatment. And then the very next day, she's testifying on Capitol Hill. How did that happen ahead of time? And now she's verified on Twitter, and she's flying to Europe to testify. This thing's too perfect, the way she just passed the baton to the media, who are all saying the same thing, trying to get their hooks into Facebook to control information flow. Again, you're right. This is about controlling information because they're upset that MAGA does well on that platform. And if I were Zucker, I'd be pissed. I'd say, guys, I donated millions to the Democrats. I bought all those drop boxes in Georgia. I got rid of the Hunter laptop story. I took Trump off Twitter. And now you're going to try to, like, destroy my company because of this?
Yep, and I got rid of the laptop story and all that stuff, you know, and Biden won. But let me ask you about the false picture of the company. So Zuckerberg says, we care deeply about the young women on Facebook, and we would never put profits before their safety.
Yeah, so that's where I thought we were going with that. That was the past few weeks had been the story after that study came out of the 11 to 13-year-olds. I don't buy it, and we've been talking about it. We know how unhealthy social media is for young women, and as Dana pointed out last week, and before that it was magazines that were terrible for young women, and the people who end up being models look a certain way, and we know how destructive it is. So I think that the whistleblower raises a good point there. We know that Facebook wants to make a lot of money. I mean, it's a site that was founded on ranking how attractive women are, right? Like, that's what Facebook came from.
It was?
Yes.
In his dorm
Yeah,
room.
in his
That's
dorm
why it was
room.
called Facebook.
Yeah.
Where you could be like ugly, pretty,
Zuckerberg.
ugly.
Yeah.
But
Was I supposed to know that?
Yeah.
That's why it's called Facebook?
Didn't you
Yes.
see the
No one
movie?
knows that.
everybody
No one knows that.
Did you not see the movie The Social Network?
But
great.
You know what?
A long
This
time
is
ago,
great.
right?
She's making a good point. She's
Thank
making
you.
a great point.
And Joe Biden did win the
But also
election.
remember what Kennedy said, that her young daughters, or her teenage daughters, are not even on Facebook.
Well,
That they're
I'm
on
not.
TikTok and Snapchat.
Yeah.
Where's their whistleblowers?
Okay, thank you, everybody.